Maybe if I do my videos with one eye, I will get more likes. Anyway,
The last thing I'll say is just the human engineering. I think that with this ability to synthesize human genome, we can actually do a lot of things. There's actually a lot of opportunities for this to solve big world problems. So one thing is the climate change.
Oh, here we go again.
And there, I'll just use, sort of climate change is a really big problem. We don't really know how to solve it. But it turns out that we can use human engineering to help us address climate change. So I'll give two examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then it would actually really help the planet.
Hey, yo, what the?
But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So
he is an ally because he likes to eat meat too, but we have to stop.
But so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance, and some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat.
Boundaries.
To certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
What? They can stop people from eating meat? So let's just make everybody allergic to meat. Very good solution. I wonder why they want to play God. I wonder how the farmers feel about that in France. Bonjour, French people. I wonder why they believe they have the power to do something. Maybe they experimented something a few years ago and they thought, hey, we got the power.
It's not an extremely deadly virus. It's not the Black Death. And look what it's doing to the world. So now just try to think what will be the implications of a much bigger problem like climate change. What? Also, conceptually, it shows that and here I completely agree with you, Rutger, that it shows you that you can change things on a massive scale. That, and again, you can stop all flight. You can lock down entire countries. You can actually do that. And life goes on in some way.
What do you mean by that?
This, I would say, may make us more open to radical ideas about how to deal also with climate change.
I'm fighting for my life!
The cows, the meat, they fought. Ooh, smoke from the car. Pff, bad for the ozone layer.
And so it begins. New York City will be the first city in America to charge Americans just to go to work in the morning.
Very first state in the nation, the very first city in America to have a congestion pricing plan.
Americans will have to pay around $23 per day.
What? Passenger vehicles would be charged $15 to enter the congestion zone, trucks between $24 and $36 depending on size, and motorcycles $7.50. Those tolls would be charged once per day and would be in effect between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. on weekends. Fees.
The proposal aims to reduce traffic congestion.
I will send you to Jesus.
I guess the Dutch people are safe because they all drive bikes to business meeting, to schools, to party. It's so normalized. But for the rest of the people, yeah, take the L.
We all know if we want to keep global warming below the tipping point of 1.5 degrees, we need to cut global emissions. And there's a way to cut emissions while fostering innovation and growth. Put a price on carbon. It is a market-driven instrument, and the message is very clear. You're polluting, you must pay a price. You want to avoid the payment, well, then innovate and decarbonize.
And how will they do this? By educating the younger generation.
Watching, act now! Stop watching, act now! Stop watching!
So now that you know that this is kinda happening and they wanna go God mode on your piece of meat, share the word. Let everybody know and let me know what you think about this thing.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Stop watching. Like now. Stop watching. Like now.